Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? I hope you're all right. You bloody well better be, because it's conference finals time. That's right. This is NBA Straya. It's Wednesday, hump day, May 22nd, all day. I am your host, James Clements. You can also see me on the AFL Today show, the official AFL Supercoach podcast. Just hanging out. Fox Sports Lab NBA, that too. Here, to give you a big old rapadoo of an awesome opening to the Eastern Conference Finals and the Conference Finals in general. Hey, also, they announced the all-defensive teams. So, I don't know. Josh Green, robbed. Producer Gerald's here as well. I don't know. He missed out on my do-up soliloquy yesterday about how he was robbed out of the all rookie teams. But anyway, we'll do the game wrap from today. We've got That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better Than Lonzo Ball. We've got some Yanars, the Unpopular Opinion of the Day, and Outback Takehouse. We were serving up a flame cool take. There is an Andrew Gaze Great MAMBA Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. And then we'll pick and preview an absolute cracking opening salvo for the Western Conference Finals for tomorrow. That should be a really fun game. After how good today was, I'll tell you what, I'm stoked and excited for tomorrow. So, I think we should just bloody well get into it. What do you reckon? Sound good? Good. Great. Let's bloody go.
This is Joe Ingles, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
Watch out for the Shaq Attack.
You better. Draymond attack, it actually might be now, Gerald, because Draymond has been added to the TNT broadcasts of the Western Conference Finals. Geez, I can't wait to hear what Draymond thinks about his opponents. Man, they weren't any good. Oh, yeah, we were better. Draymond, your team sucked and you were a knob end and you kept getting booted out of games. Shut up, you idiot. It's like, oh, no. As I said last week, it's like there's an idea about sort of just like letting loose and just talking for the sake of talking. A lot of Draymond's gear is that, right? There's a reason his podcast sucks. Hey, Jim, is yours any good? Yes. Of course it is. Check it out. It's unreal. It's really funny. Hey, you ever hear a ginger Australian yell lots about basketball? Yes, once. Anyway, let's start today's show. The way I start every show, apparently, with the daily whoosh, to whip around. And to be honest, I'm still very thankful that I can do the whip around thing. So I was having so after the surgery earlier this year, right, on the roof of my mouth, I wasn't able to have chewing gum, Gerald. No chewing gum. And I really missed it. But apparently it's all okay now. So I've like gotten back on the gum train and I'm feeling good. Because like, every time, like the weirdest part is like the skin graft and all the bone graft or whatever they had on the roof of my mouth. Even now to this day, like there's still a bump in there, right? And when you got the gum in there, it's like, oh, geez, this is a bit different than it used to be. It's weird, man. It's really weird, yeah. Anyway, that's how we start every show, apparently. Me just whinging about stuff. The good news is, if you've been following along, I've been talking about the baby squid. What is he, 20 months old? Just, covered in hives, allergy, gear. And look, you went to the allergist, so that's good. They were like, oh, he's probably fine. You're like, bloody hell. Are you a medical doctor? Anyway, but that's good news. I'm pretty happy with that. So fingers crossed he's all good. The dog is still a goddamn wreck, though, the poor bastard. I'll tell you what, just walking into shit, just going blind. How bad is the diabetes? Ugh, it stinks. Anyway, let's turn this show around and get more fun. The all defensive teams are announced, which I always love because it means you get to look at the fun votes. And these ones were pretty good. So the first team was announced. It's like, hey, here's 4 big dudes and Herb Jones. You're like, oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Rudy Gobert, this Stafford Tower is unanimous. I believe that is French for everybody voted for me. Huh? And bang, 99 first team votes. Off he goes. Victor Wembanyama, second with 86 first players votes. Bam, bam. Adebayo at 73. Herb Jones, love me some Herb Jones, 66, and AD. That's right, Anthony Davis, 60. So it is weird that they're like, oh, it's positionless now. And then you're like, oh, great. So we've got 4 centers and a fucking wing defender. Awesome. Great job, everybody. Oh, yes, this is the all-defensive first team. Yes, great job. Then the second team is like all guards. It's like all guards and a wing. Like, what are we doing here? So the second team is Alex Caruso putting on a Caruso show. Jalen Suggs. Doesn't mind sugging on one. And Derek White. Sure. Jaden McDaniels. There's your wing. And Drew Holiday. So the Boston Celtics, I think on the broadcast today, they're like, yeah, it's like the best backcourt in the NBA. It's like, I think you meant best defensive backcourt because they were both voted to the second team all defense teams. Yeah, so it was a bit of a Mike Breen misspoking moment, but still. Other people receiving votes. Dort. We need more Dort number plates. Kawhi Leonard somehow got a first place vote despite, I don't know, I think I played more games than this year. It had more of an impact on the culture of the LA Clippers. Again, what do I keep saying? Get rid of fucking local votes. Like, there's no way that you watch, like, the NBA this year and go, you know who should be on the all-defense team? The bloke who doesn't show up most of the time, Kawhi Leonard, him. 4 first-place votes also went to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 6 went to Giannis. But because they didn't get like the sheer volume underneath that, Jaylen Brown got 3. Darren Fox, look, whoever's doing this in Sacramento, I appreciate the bit. It's amazing. Domantas Sabonis is getting all defense like votes. He's getting all NBA votes. Now they're putting De'Aaron Fox, one of the worst, not good, not great at all defensive point guards, a first-team vote. That is taking the piss, and I'm here for it. Well done, whoever's doing that in Sacramento. And Domantas Sabonis got one as well. So that's clearly someone in Sacramento. Seriously, you got a first All-NBA defense team, first-place vote. I love it. I absolutely love it. Lean into the chaos. That's fucking gnarly. Next up, we'll have, I don't know, Jamal Crawford. He's been retired for 2 years. Never played defense when he was actually in the NBA. He should get a first-team vote as well. That's sweet. Anyway, Jared Allen got a first-team vote as well, which, again, that feels like a bit of Cleveland vibes. But otherwise, apart from the positionless vibe, which just fucking completely throws this out of whack, where you've got 4 centers and a wing dude and on the first team, and then the second team you've got 4 guards and a wing dude. You're like, sure. Why are we calling them teams? Because they're not teams at that point, right? They're just all defense 5 dudes and the other 5 dudes. They're not teams. What are we doing? Anyway, let's do a game wrap. Game wrap. Apart from like anything else, like there's no other news really today. LaMelo Ball hit a kid with a car. Probably not great, but interesting one that it happened like a year and start of like end of last year or some shit. Thing is, when I heard that news, I'm like, that comes as absolutely no surprise. So they do this, Gerald, you see, where every so often they just have like the video of LaMelo Ball peeling off in one of his fancy cars. And wow, is he a shit driver. I'm like, there's a dude who's going to wrap a Lambo around a fucking tree, like before you know it. He's like peeling out and it's like, yeah, he apparently pulled up at a light just outside the practice facility or the hive, whatever the fuck it's called there in Carolina. And like, there was a kid there and he like ran over his foot and fucked up his back. You're like, yep, that tracks. Anyway, back to the game wrap. What a game we had. We had Boston versus the Indiana Pacers in the opening game of the conference finals. Boston win this. Boy, howdy. But how? 133-128 in overtime. What did I say? Yesterday was like 122, 112. I wasn't too far off in regulation, but this was absolute fucking chaos engine at the end of it because wow, did Boston try to lose this, Gerald. They tried so hard. And then Indy went, hold my beer. Just check this out. We're going to turn the ball over twice in the next 19 seconds and give you guys a shot. Hey, that was a really good shot by Jaylen Brown to send this to overtime. They got off to a flyer in the OT, and then Jayson Tatum went, hey, check this out. I'm going to outscore the entire Pacers team by myself. And you're like, Jesus, that's not bad. But awesome, weird game, right? So the Celtics just, I don't know why they get so nervous playing at home. It's like, it's almost like they're almost afraid of the expectation. Like, it's almost like the weight of history is too heavy for them, Gerald, you see. Where it's like, oh, there's been so many great Celtics teams over the years, and they're just like, that's cool. These guys, like, these folks just love us. but it's almost too much love. I'm afraid. Oh my God, I'm turtlenecking. Oh God, I'd shit my pants. Like that's how he rolls, right? The entire Celtics team. They shouldn't because they're a bunch of hard asses. Drew Holiday, Derek White, vibes. Tatum and Brown, a little bit different, but still. Al Horford, been there a million times before. And this game looked different because they got up to a 12-0 start. They're fucking flying. You're feeling great. They look unreal. They're knocking in threes. They look like defensively they were everywhere. And then they're just like, all right, we've won this one, haven't we? Everyone's like, yo, it's like 3 minutes into the game. What the fuck are you doing? They're like, no, we've won this one. And it's like, no. Oh, here come the Pacers. And like you sort of fucking turn around and you go, oh, it's now a couple of points. Miles Turner gets cranking. And suddenly, I think it was like a 3-point game after the first quarter. I should bring up my notes. Because Miles Turner was just off his fucking head. He's just like, check this out. I'm going to hit this step back three. And you're like, oh, that's pretty bloody good. And the Boston defense just sort of goes into this weird prevent defense out of nowhere. It's like, that's not helping. That's not preventing anything. What are you doing? They're just like, oh, nah. But remember that 12-0 start? We're going to win from here. It's like, no, it's not fucking 1st to 12, Boston. What are you doing? And the most annoying aspect, if you're a Boston Celtics fan, is that they did it again. In the third quarter, they got up like 15 and went, oh, we've won this. And so the game is still going on. You haven't won anything. They're like, nah, Jim, you need to settle down, mate. We've won this game. So you very clearly haven't. What are you doing? And so that's what happens, right? So 34-31. The cool part at the end of the first quarter was how the benches were just going hammer and tongs. TJ McConnell and Peyton Pritchard, the two little white backup point guards, definitely the Spider-Man meme of just pointing to each other like, huh? Hang on a second, and a scrappy little white guy backup point guard who's 6'1"? Wait a minute. It's just like they were just going back. It's like they were playing against their reflection. It was fucking awesome. Ain't no stopping. Obi Toppin was out there causing a little bit of chaos too. And Pritchard got them up 8 at the start of the second quarter. Horford was scoring as well. They're up 10. And this is what I'm talking about. Like they got up 12-zip out of the gate. They get up 10 at the start of the second quarter. They do it again in the third quarter. And then they just sort of go, oh, I think that's enough. It's like, you can't do that against the Indiana offense. Because that Indiana offense is like a fucking LaMelo Ball Lambo. It's like fucking off the rails, but it's fast as fuck, right? Like that's how it goes. Off they go. Boston had control of this in the second quarter. And then Turner hits another 3. Halliburton hits another 3. Nembhard played his ass off in this game, hit another 3. Bang, they're right back in it. And then at the end of the second quarter, Halliburton hits in that stupid logo 3 with 2 seconds left. And we're fucking tied up after one half of basketball. It's 64-64. And if you're a Celtics fan, at this point, you're like, it's fucking happening again. This is like Miles Turner. Just, you take all the letters from his name and it probably spells Caleb Martin. Just, there's no C in there. Or an N. Am I right? I don't know. I'm no math magician. Jim, this is letters. That's actually your job. Anyway, point being, Halliburton then came out in the third quarter and scored the first 5 points by himself. And you're like, Jesus, are they literally going to shit the bed? This is game 1, however. Boston should win this one. It's usually game 2 that they shit the bed in. And then they just sort of wrested control back, right? Brown, Tatum, and Holiday started getting going. It was a bit of a slog, but Indy's offense just sort of ground to a little bit of a hold as Boston paid more attention. They got, I think Tatum hits a 3. They're back up 8. He got an and 1. Off they go. They're back up 12 at this point, I think. Holiday hits a 3. They're up 90-77. You're up 13 at home in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They should have run away with it. But even before the bloody end of the third quarter was done, Indy were right back in it again because they're the fucking zombie Pacers. It's chaos. TJ McConnell, he's getting buckets left, right, and center. Pascal Siakam doing the same thing. Naismith hits a 3. Revenge! Love that. Bang, it's a 4-point fucking game again. Then Halliburton hits another buzzer-beating 3 at the end of a fucking quarter. He banks this one in. It's the arsiest shot you've ever seen. And it's 94-93 going to the fourth quarter. And every Celtics fan is like, what the fuck are we doing? This is horrible. And if you're like me and you don't give a fuck about Celtics fans or the Celtics, you're like, this is great. This is awesome. Let's go, Pacers. Just tear their fucking hearts out. Because remember, I'm an equal opportunity hater. But the thing is, back and forth the entire way down the stretch in this fourth quarter. Indy would sneak ahead with like a Turner three, Siakam bucket here and there. Derek White hits his three, keeps him in it. Horford hits a three. It's back to a 4-point game. Then it's back to a 1-point game. And into that last minute or so, you've just got some massive Derek White moments. The Celtics have one possession, like with 17 seconds left or whatever. They miss like 4 shots. It's just fucking stupid. But the biggest thing that will come out of this is how the Pacers basically blew this game with 2 absolutely los horribles. That's how the Spanish would say, if you mix them with the French, apparently. 2 loss. Is my table about to collapse? 2 los horribles turnovers in 19 seconds. That literally, if they score on one of those, it's no longer a 3-point game, it's a 5-point game. And the Jaylen Brown 3 that he hits that forces overtime becomes almost academic, but he hits it. It's 117. Tyrese Halliburton has 5 seconds still on this clock. Runs out of room. He's got Jayson Tatum draped all over him, tries to fucking chuck up a 3. It's like, Tyrese, you know it's tied, right? Like you score and you win, probably. That was absolutely atrocious. Then in the overtime, Halliburton has a pretty amazing moment where the Pacers look like they're just sort of grasping the entire fucking thing by the balls. He has 3 free throws on a horrible Derek White foul. And then there's an 8-0 Celtics run that sort of just gets it all done. And then we play the free throw game down the stretch where Joey Mars, I fucking love you, Jayson. Jayson, I fucking love you, man. It was amazing how in that overtime, Jayson, I fucking love you, man. Do you want to go watch the town, bro? Hey, man, this was fucking cool as when you just outscored the entire Pacers by yourself, man. That was fucking sick as. My name is Joey Mars. I fucking love doing jiu-jitsu, bro. Anyway, so Joey Mars was just like, hey, if we're up like 4, 5, 6, whatever, and every time they have to hit free throws, we're still up 4. Hang on, if we foul them, they can't get it to a 1-possession game. Great, very smart. Unfortunately, they hit 1 free throw and then had the that weird Obi Toppin Jayson Tatum foul that Joey Muzz was like, let's fucking review that, bro. That was some fucking bullshit, man. Obi Toppin was grabbing my best friend Jayson Tatum around the fucking arm, bro. This is bullshit. And of course, the ref's like, oh, I mean, we called it a foul. Like, it's definitely a foul. Like, oh, let's review how we were wrong. Fuck off, we were right. Meanwhile, Obi Toppin's got like an arm lock around Jayson Tatum and Tatum's reaching around him. Anyway, they hold on, the Celtics. It's in no way really convincing, but the way that Tatum stepped up in that overtime was fucking immense and really, really important. Probably for his mindset, but also for the Celtics' mindset. They go up, they win it. Obviously, in the end, 133, 128. Not a wildly convincing win because they snuck the win out of the jaws of defeat and also almost snuck the defeat out of the jaws of victory fucking time and time again. So either way, the Celtics are now 1 up in the Eastern Conference Finals. Will we see the Game 2 shit the bed moment from the Celtics? From what we saw in Game 1, it's wildly possible because I think I did this in the drop-off playoff picks this morning, right? Like, the offense of the Pacers is awesome still, even if you're not entirely sure where it's coming from. But, like, it just goes. It goes and goes and goes and goes. And if we break it down, which is what we do with the game wraps, don't we? We look at, who did what. And for the Pacers, like, I was wildly impressed by how good Halliburton was. So he has 8 of 18 shooting, 6 of 14 from downtown, 25 points, 10 assists, 3 steals and a block. Bloody good. He is, however, a minus 11 in his 40 minutes. Nembhard was pretty handy with 12 points, 23, 10, and 4 for Miles Turner. Now, if you're like me, you're like, that's awesome. Miles Turner, when he's up and about, hitting threes, diving into the bucket for massive dunks, you're like, he might be the best big man in the NBA. But then he remembers that he's Miles Turner and not, I don't know, Joel Embiid. And then gets a bit of Joel Embiid because he's like, hang on a second, second half. Oh, yeah, don't know about that. There's a second half? Does fucking nothing in that entire second half. He was lighting it up and then went completely MIA. That is the Miles Turner experience. 24, 12, and 7, really good game from Siakam. Had some sick, gnarly shots late. Shot 12 of 23, 0 of 2 from downtown. It was like the one thing where you're like, oh, just this is the Siakam experience as well. It's like just that one little aspect of get him over the top. But he was really, really good Went mano a mano up against Tatum. Naismith, bit of revenge, 14 and 6, went 1 of 5 from downtown, though 6 of 12 shooting overall. The Nemhard, 12 points, 7 assists, 2 of 4 from 3. He was really important. The biggest thing, I think, like, obviously 13, 3 and 4 for TJ McConnell as well off the bench. Huge. Obi Toppin, 15, 4 and 2. Very cool. Ben Shepherd, however, I love me some Ben Shepherd. He played 17 minutes. He had 2 points. It was a +5. Unfortunately, he also went 0 of 3 from downtown, and Ben Shepherd has had one game all playoffs. He's like an immensely important shooter that you've never fucking heard of for the Pacers. All playoffs, he's had one game. One single game where he's not hit. A3. This was the second one, and in a surprise twist, they lose it as well. It was pretty brutal. Look, they shot the piss out of it. They shot 53.5% from the floor. They went 13 of 35 from downtown. I'm no math magician, but those are pretty bloody good numbers. The biggest problem was their turnovers. It cost them the game at the end. It also cost them the game in the entire game. So 21, it might have even been 22. I've seen 2 different numbers for this. It's always weird when that happens. It's like, what's a turnover, boys? We don't know, apparently. But I've seen 22, but also 21. Versus a Celtics team that usually can be a bit wonky with the old turnovers. They only had the 14. They only shot 47.5% and 15 of 45 from downtown. So, again, the Celtics made more threes, shot a little bit worse, though. And there's the other big difference. They got to the line 30 fucking times. 30! They were 24 or 30 at the stripe. The Pacers, not exactly the world's biggest driving into the teeth of the defense dudes, 9 of 10. So, where the rebounding is like pretty even, the assist numbers are pretty even, the Pacers just had way more turnovers and didn't get to the line. That's how the Celtics eke out this win. Tatum has an awesome game, 36, 12, and 4 with 3 steals. Drew Holiday, his offensive game, we saw it at the back end of the second round. Back to life, 28 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 of 8 from deep, 3 steals as well. There's a theme here. Jaylen Brown, 26 points, 10 of 20 shooting. Love that. 5 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 steals. Just have that in the back of your head because that's going to pop up again in a second. JB only had the 3 turnovers as well, 4 for Tatum. But look, Peyton Pritchard with 8 points off the bench. Cornette had 5 as well. They were really important. Derek White, 15, 6, and 9 assists. He only shot 5 of 13, but when it mattered, he scored a couple of buckets late, hit some free throws, you're laughing. And then 15 and 6 for average Al Horford. He's old man River at this point, but bloody hell he was good. Without the extreme zinger meal. That's huge. Celtics hold on to win. Really, really important game from Drew Holiday. The 3 steals are huge, but the fact that Tatum had 3 steals, JB had 3 steals, it's just that idea of the Boston defense. Even though they gave up 128 points, they forced so many fucking turnovers, and that was huge. So good job by the Celtics. They deserve to go up 1-0. Let's do an NBA Straya approved performance of the night.
That's not a night. That's a knife.
I was leaning towards Drew Holiday because he kept him in this game, but then Tatum took over that overtime, and you're like, yeah, he's probably going to win that one now. What's he doing, Jim? Oh, he's just outscoring the Pacers by himself in the overtime. Oh, I think it's pretty good. 36, 12, and 4 with 3 steals. He shot 12 of 26 from the floor, 2 of 8 from 3. Not ideal, but that fucking 3 that he laced in the overtime where it was all sort of breaking down. He hits this one straight on. It was beautiful, and he went 10 of 12 at the free throw line. Unreal. JB got them going early. Drew Holiday sort of filled in the gap. So did Derek White. It was a really good team effort by the Celtics. And Halliburton almost won this game by himself. I mean, he's got to be looking at the 5 turnovers for Naismith and is like, dude, what the fuck was that? Give me the ball, you idiot. What are you doing? He's like, nah, man, I really wanted to kill my old dudes. Anyway, the 25 and 10 for Halliburton, unlucky, but goddamn, Tatum was unreal. Like the way that he sort of just stepped up in that OT, I shit on him all the time, right? It's like, oh man, Jayson Tatum, he's never run into a game that he doesn't actually want to win. And he's had like some massive playoff moments, but they sort of always pale because he's never won the entire thing. And just like, I don't know, something off about that cat. But anyway, awesome game by Tatum. How about a bit of a Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
I'll tell you what, the Spud of the night was a bit of a tricky one because it comes down to probably those turnovers right at the end of the fourth quarter that basically let the Celtics hit the game-tying one. So You had a bit of a spart of the night where Andrew Nembhard just throws the ball out of bounds with 8 seconds left that allowed JB then to get the ball back, because all they essentially had to not do then was like turn the ball over, and they did. The thing is, they turned it over with 27 seconds left, and that was Halliburton. So, bit of a tough one. Really, the spud of the night might be Miles Turner's second half, where he's just like, oh, I did enough in the first one. We're fine, aren't we? It's like, no, there's still a second half. But at the same time, Ben Shepherd's 1 of 4 shooting, 0 of 3 from downtown was absolutely brutal. Hey, Jim, was it also because it cost you a really, really, really massive multi that he didn't hit a single three? Yes. But also, look, he has a role, and it's like hit threes, he missed his 3, tough one, you get that on the big jobs. It's more probably the Naismith types where he has like the 6 fouls, the 5 turnovers, shot 50% from the floor, but 1 of 5 from deep. Pretty brutal. And Derek White, 5 of 13, but he did save his ass late, hitting those free throws, hitting a big shot as well. Ends up at plus 12. So bit thin on the ground for your spuds of the night. Horford shot 5 of 15. Again, I'm no math magician. 30% is pretty weird. The craziest part for me for average Al Horford was he shot 12 threes. He went 3 of 12 from downtown, to the point where it's like the second quarter, you're like, why is he still shooting threes, Gerald? What the fuck is going on? He's like, well, check this out. I'm old as fuck and I can't be bothered getting in the post. You're like, yep, that tracks. Good on you. Either way, look, bit of a across the board sort of spud of the night. The 5 of 15 shooting and the 5 of 13 for Derek White. Like, for 2 of your starters to combine to go, 10 of 28? Not ideal, but it was really well balanced out by Tatum, Holiday, and Brown. So no one you really want to throw under the bus in this one, because the Celtics did manage to pull it out. All right, what about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no
Old mate,
mates.
no
Old
mates.
mate, no
Old
mates.
mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? I mean, Halliburton on that last possession going, hey, I've already hit 2 buzzer beaters in this game. How about a third? It's a bit of a rough one. But at the same time, if you're Tyrese Halliburton, you're like, Jesus, guys, can you get me a little bit of space? And he's sort of running around like a headless chook and like backs himself into a corner and gets smashed. So a bit of a tough one there. You also have like these moments where you just watch this and like Halliburton is absolutely crushing it. And you're like, Siakam is like a really good Robin to a Tyrese Halliburton Batman. If only Miles Turner weren't like fucking the Penguin and just like completely missing in the fucking second half. It was very, very weird. It was pretty brutal. If Halliburton had got a little bit more support down the stretch, they might have won that one. Bit of a tough one, I'll tell you that much. All right, what do we do after that one? I can never remember. It'll be Pantsing of the Night. That's right, Gerald. Thank you. This was the old classic double pantsing, because you had Miles Turner on one end go through Luke Cornett, and just like sick double-handed slam. Just go straight through the guts of the defense. You're like, whoa, what happened to the Boston defense, man? And then Luke Cornett goes the other way and he's like, that was cute. Watch me do the exact same thing. And then talk shit to Miles Turner. He's like, yeah, if you think you can do that, I can do it better. And then Miles Turner continued to drop threes and Cornett's like, yeah, I'm done. It was pretty weird. It was pretty funny, but it was a decent like, ha-ha, gotcha. And then the other guy going, ha-ha, I got you. And it's like, great. You both pantsed each other. It's a pants off. Great job. All right, what is it? Better than Lonzo Ball?
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody. Coming for everybody.
TJ McConnell and Peyton Pritchard. Why is this, Jim? Well, Lonzo Ball, when his little brother's not running over people, he's also not busy playing in the playoffs ever, because he's never played in the playoffs. So today, when you've got both Peyton Pritchard and TJ McConnell going off their fucking heads. So Pritchard goes 2 of 3 from downtown, 3 of 4 overall, 8 points, 2 assists, 0 turnovers. He was really, really fun. The problem was he was basically playing at the same time as TJ McConnell, and TJ McConnell, he went full MJ. He's like, they played the other white point guard on me, and I took that personally. So off he goes, 25 minutes, 6 of 11 from the floor, TJ. He's like, Peyton Pritchard's like knocking in threes. TJ's like, I'm going to go on the teeth of the fucking defense and show you who's boss. He didn't hit a 3. He went 0-1 from downtown. He had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists and a steal. So today, TJ McConnell and Peyton Pritchard, both better than Lonzo Ball, and TJ McConnell better than Peyton Pritchard. All right, there you go. Let's do some yeah nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Daryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening
Straya.
to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do it. NBA Straya, yeah, nah, is brought to you by the NBA Straya shop. Get your merch, NBAstraya.com/shop, or just click through on the socials. Away you go. You can get one of these sick t-shirts that I'm wearing right now if you're watching on the YouTube, or one of these sick coffee mugs. Look at that. If you're watching on the YouTube, you can see that. There's also a sticker. I'll throw in a sticker for free. This one over here, that's just like part of the background. Say, whoa, whoa. Yeah, watch the YouTube or I'll smash it because it's very weird and funny. I'm just yelling standing here. Let's do some yeah nahs. Has a P, the legend, sent in a couple of good ones. Howdy, Jim. Here's a yeah nah for you. Despite possibly being Spud of the night before I discovered MPJ is on the max, are we, the NBA people, the biggest winners from the Wolves advancing? Solely to hear more of Ant's press conferences. Love the head of the snake and how high up the poll references. Yeah, nah, yes. This is actually one of the sort of things that once the Western Conference Finals start tomorrow, we'll actually appreciate a lot more. I'm really glad that Has a P brought this up because Denver, for as awesome as they are and how fun Jokic is to watch, MPJ sucks. he's a massive, massive knob end. Jokic just doesn't care about impressing you with his media shit. Jamal Murray's kind of engaging. So is Aaron Gordon. Michael Malone is like a hard ass. We get it. But Ant-Man is so fucking electric that during these press conferences and the post-game shit, it is such an awesome extra bit to these Wolves games that you're like, this is appointment viewing. Like he and Kat, after that game, I think Hazapi then actually mentions this as well. I've just seen more footage of Kat and Ant talking about Big Roo's jumper and them losing last year and for 20 years, etc. That's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, that was funny as fuck. Kat going, how much do you want us to lose, man? And it's like, oh, I forget how weird Karl Anthony Towns' voice gets. But that was weird. But it was also fun as shit because they're like, yeah, we didn't expect Rudy Gobert to hit like a 17-foot turnaround either. That was rad. Also, we've been losing for 20 years. And it's like, Ant-Man then shits on Kat. It's like, yeah, you've been losing for 9 years. What the fuck, man? Like, this is it's so engaging and so fucking fun that you're like, yes, hook this shit to my veins. So, to be honest, I think we're winners for that simple fact that we get a lot more Wolves for the rest of the Western Conference Finals, which is pretty good. Especially, look, Kyrie's been really fun in some of his media shit. At the same time, you're sort of just waiting for him to, I don't know, say something anti-Semitic. Anyway, hey, Jimmy, says Jason W. It would be hilarious if the Celtics curse took a big shit on them in the conference playoffs. Yeah, nah. Yeah. And it came so very close today. So, you might be asking, hey, Jim, what's the Celtics curse? And I would say, well, it's the one where, remember Isaiah Thomas, the king in the fourth, the little guy. And also Aaron Bangers Baines, my beloved Bainesy. What did the Celtics do to them? Oh, that's right. They fucking stabbed him in the back. Bangers, sign for less, and we're not going to trade you. They traded him. Isaiah Thomas, oh, yeah, we'll pay you unless another trade comes up and we'll trade you. Bang, they fucking traded him. Just absolute dog moves from a dog organization. I'm not going to call the Celtics a dog organization. They seem very nice. But at the same time, you don't fuck with basketball gods and basketball karma by saying one thing and then doing another. So it would be absolutely hilarious if the Pacers actually went on to win this fucking series. Do I think they will? No. Can they? After what we saw today, they can at least push it a little bit further than we expected. The biggest, toughest part that they have, the Pacers, is to keep up. Like, they gave up 133 points. Like, we know that defense is a bit fucking suspect. The only worry that they will now have is that, like, they have, like, you know, a couple of bullets in the gun where they'll be able to drop 128 on the Celtics. They have to hope that that wasn't one of them that they've wasted because they didn't win. So, yeah. But Jason W., it would be hilarious if the Celtics lost and the Celtics curse All they have to do to fix it is re-sign Isaiah Thomas and bring back Bangers Baines. Jim, he's playing for the Brisbane Bullets. I do not care. You put him on that bench, no one will fuck with that team, and you will be right in the basketball god's cosmos. Matty-O! I'm going to read his second one first. Yeah, does the Wolves' recent run now justify the Gobert trade and all the draft assets they gave up? Yeah, probably not all of them, but yeah, like this is why you make the trade, right? You're like, well, we've got Karl Anthony Towns. All the other teams in the Western Conference have got like some sort of big dude that's worrisome. Now they've got Wemby in San Antonio. They've got Anthony fucking Davis down there in the Lakers. You've apparently got MVP, first place vote getter, and all defensive team first place vote getter, Domantas Sabonis on the Kings. You've got big dudes up the wazoo. You've obviously got Nikola Jokic, a bloke you might have heard of, playing for the Denver Nuggets. And the Wolves went, fuck it. Let's get two big dudes. Turns out that's really fucking smart. Yeah, it was shit last year. And then they sort of figured it out because Ant-Man went, hey, actually, I'm a second coming of Michael Jordan mixed with Dwayne Wade. What's up? And you're like, oh, that's helpful. I'll tell you that much. But really, Tim Connolly building this Wolves team to essentially beat the Nuggets, the team that he built before that, is awesome. And it does justify the Gobert trade. Probably doesn't justify giving up essentially the rest of the decade's worth of draft picks when it doesn't seem clear that you were really sort of bidding against too many other people. But it's kind of worked out. You've made a Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 fucking years. It's pretty cool. If they make the finals, it's a 100% justification. The draft pick stuff will start to hurt in about next year, the year after, but that's a future Wolves problem, not a today Wolves. And then Matty-O had a very good one. I enjoyed this. Flaming hot, incoming. Jimmy leading an Olympic prep yoga live stream with Paddy to the NBA Straya faithful. Starting off with a downward dog. Mindful that Paddy's missus is out of the shot, otherwise we all might be in strife and wrongly accused of watching an SBS movie late on a Saturday night. Yes. I keep bringing this up. Paddy Mills is doing his daily workout shit. Have you had time to even start at gym? No. But I believe tomorrow is one of his first treatment day, so we might try to catch up tomorrow. We'll see how we go. It's going to be interesting. I might do mini micro Paddy Mills workouts because he's like, all right, today we're going to do lifting and whatever the fuck the other thing was. And I'm like, lifting tins counts, right? Because I did that yesterday. Bending the elbow. Yep, that's stretching the old fucking bicep. There we go. Just tins after tins after tins. Those pints of Bolter XPA will not lift themselves. I'll tell you that much, Gerald. And once you think about it, that's a half liter of beer. If you lift, that's a half fucking kilo fucking weight the entire time. You can't tell me I'm not working out. Just saying. That's lifting in my book. We're on fucking track. Bang. We might not get the results that are desired, but still, we're on track. But I do like the idea of, I love that Matty-O just laid it out. It's like, yeah, we need Paddy's missus to be out of the shot because it is suspect as fuck every time I'm looking at his Instagram at this moment. I'm like, Paddy, your missus is a smoke show. Can you just put it away? God damn, you're going to get all of us in trouble for just looking at your Insta. I just want to follow along with your fucking workout shit. Meanwhile, your missus bent over like a fucking pretzel, and what am I meant to do? Not look? God damn it, man. You're going to get me stabbed by old mate. Anyway, love this though. But yeah, doing an NBA Straya yoga live stream with Paddy would be basically the culmination of my entire career. So just keep his missus away from it. All right, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me. Look, as fun as India, and they are fun. That was a really fun, psychotic game today. I really don't rate them. I really wish that they would. If you think Benny Mathurin, who is out for the season, they feel like that one sort of scoring dude away, and Mathurin is that guy, right? So it just sort of stings. I wish they had one other hard ass. Just if Obi Toppin was the second coming of I don't know, Anthony Mason or something, that'd be fun. One of the Davis boys, let's just fucking go. They just don't have, they feel soft. And the Boston Celtics are also wildly soft as well. But with Drew Holiday, with Derek White, then it doesn't feel like they're as soft as Indy. So, I don't know. Basically, I think the unpopular opinion of the day is I don't rate Indy. They're too soft, but they are fun. Don't know if that's unpopular, but sucked in. I've just said it. All right, what about Outback Takehouse? Once he remembers where the button is. It's Wednesday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah. Well, magpies are a bit thin on the ground today, so we had to substitute in some crows. So we had to take the baby squid to his allergist thing, and we took the other squid to, school or whatever. So we're just rolling down the street in Brunswick. Cricket bats out the side. Whapang, whapang, whapang. 3 crows as easy as you bloody like. They didn't see it coming. And then boom, you've got tasty old crow wings. Yeah, it's not chicken wings and I'll admit it's not that tasty. It's not great, but they are at Outback. And they go great with the flame grilled. No, they don't go great with much. Either way, here's a flame grilled take. Today's flame grilled take is... Speaking of soft, Kyrie Irving spent that season in Boston and went 2 seasons in Boston and went, wait a minute, I want out of here because Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're as soft as charm. And if I've learned anything from Kobe is that you got to get rid of the smush parkers in your life. And that's exactly why he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here and going to Brooklyn. Only at Outback. To be honest, I wrote this during the run where they were down in the fourth quarter. They came back and won because Jaylen Brown hit a massive 3 and Tatum then outscored the entire Pacers team for most of that overtime. So this doesn't really track as much as it did earlier. But still, it's only at Outback. It's not too bad of a flame grilled take though. The Kyrie who looked at these dudes and went, I find you both lacking. You could look at it that way. Of course, the other way of looking at it is that Kyrie is just like, I want all the spotlight, and these guys are a little bit too good. So, fuck this. I'm going to go hang out with my buddy KD. Anyway, going straight along into the Andrew Gaze Gray MAMBA Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence, because the Strayan Player Watch will be tomorrow when Dallas play. Let's do the button.
Andrew Gaze Gray MAMBA.
All right, let's do it. This was a very cool one. There's a list of players with 25 points, 10 plus assists, and 5 plus threes in an Eastern Conference Finals game. There are 3 people on that list. LeBron James, Jrue Holiday, and now Tyrese Halliburton. Pretty bloody good, because Tyrese Halliburton had 25 points, 10 assists, 6 made threes today, which amazingly actually tied Reggie Miller for most threes in an Eastern Conference Finals game by an Indiana Pacer. I do love it when we just roll out awesome weird stats where it's like, here's a dude from the olden days that you guys used to like. Reggie Miller. And I'm like, I fucking hate that guy. That's cool that Halliburton at least equaled his stupid fucking record. Blow it out your ass, Reggie. And there we go. All right, what about a Patty Mills Gameday Baller Gameday Twitter check-in? Don't get in trouble, Jim. Tell you what. Cool. Let's have a look. Where is Patty? Oh, we've got Do-Up Reef. Champs, now for the WASL. So, cool. Lebanese basketball pronounced the champions. So, playing in Beirut. Maybe his brother? Friends? Dunno. But that's cool. Good on you, Do-Up. Just out there supporting his mates. Oh, what about my best mate, Nick K? Oh, he's got the baby on the... Oh, that's awesome. I am here for all baby content. My best mate, Nick K, knocking in buckets, having a hang with the baby. He's got the Nick K Hawks measurement chart out as well. The baby's just sitting there looking at it, going, that's my dad. And he's apparently 65 odd centimeters tall. That is awesome. I'm going to get Nick on the show again. Because I think, he's back training for the Boomers gear. So we shouldn't we? Yes. Here's your best mate, Jim. Yeah. All right, let's do a bit of a game preview, though, for the Western Conference Finals Game 1. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? I'm very hungry because I've not had lunch today, and it's 4:30. So that sucks. But either way, all right, we did a little bit of a preview for this entire series on yesterday's show, right, when we had Damon Lowry on. We're hanging out, sort of broke it down. I think I ended up landing on Dallas 4-3. Dallas and 7, I think, is where I ended up landing. I still feel pretty good about it just because that top-end talent that the Mavs have it feels like it should win out in the end if they can kind of figure out what to do against this Minnesota defense, which they could easily do, right? Like when you got to do like Kyrie and another guy like Luka out there, hoping that PJ Hamilton-Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. hit up a couple of buckets as well. It gets a bit sketchy, but you just have to lean on the top two dudes to really bring it home. I think we could get a really big Kyrie series, and if they do, they could win that. So I think for game one, I am going to take Dallas plus 4.5, just because I'm still unconvinced by the Minnesota offense. And we know that the Dallas defense can turn them into Alice every so often, but they were really, really good against OKC. And more importantly, they figured out OKC, who are an interesting team to be able to go, well, there's SGA and then Jalen Williams, Chet, a weird sort of young, funky team. But I think Dallas's defense can give them a puncher's chance, especially in this game one. Minnesota will be hype AF. So I'm just going to take the 4.5 points for Dallas because you feel like they could actually already steal a game in Minnesota. They did that in OKC in game 2. So I think they might be on here. I reckon they'll give themselves a chance. So I'm going to give them a chance. Give me Dallas plus 4.5 in game 1. What could happen, though, is that Minnesota's defense could just be like, all time fucking shut the fuck up, Jim, you're an idiot. I'm like, fair play. And they could just stymie everything that Dallas is trying to do just because they're fucking massive, right? It's like Ant-Man just going, hey, that's cute that Kyrie's trying to do shit. How about I just fucking just put the clamps on? Clamp, clamp, clamp. Or Karl Anthony Towns is like, every time Luka drives into the paint, hey, Rudy, how about you and me just stop him? And you're like, yeah, fuck, that's not a bad idea. I am worried about that, but I think Dallas's shot making and shot creation, as long as their other dudes step up, PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., maybe they're their own two centers in Derek Lively and Dan Gafford, if they give them anything, maybe. It is weird that it's probably going to come down to the likes of Josh Green, maybe a little bit of Tim Hardaway Jr., which I do not like saying, but I feel like they should just roll a bit of Dante Exum out there and see what happens. But anyway, I think there will be just enough Mavericks offense to get them at least to cover this one, if not win it. So we're going to go Dallas plus 4.5. It's a tricky one. This game is going to be sick, and I cannot bloody wait. But either way, you'll have to wait until tomorrow because that is it for today. We'll be back on deck tomorrow. Big Thursday show. What do we do on Thursdays, Joe? We tape the show before AFL, don't we? It's always good. Geez, Jim, your Thursday's long. Yes. So are my Wednesdays. So are all my fucking days. Anyway, it's going to be a good one, though. I can't wait for this game one. So Dallas, Minnesota. It's going to be a cracker. We'll wrap all that up for you tomorrow. Any other news that breaks, we'll be all over it too. So make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, across all the socials. TikTok as well, of course, now. Throwing up the drop-off playoff picks on there. Get around the AFL Today show as well. I just mentioned that. We did our Midweek Madness Wednesday show earlier today. It was awesome. Wasn't it, Gerald? He's nodding. Trust me, I didn't look at him, but he is. But it is really good too. Check that out, as well as this show on YouTube, as well as all the socials, of course, as well as the other shows. Cricket Today podcast, the Football Today podcast. Hold all tickets for your GGs. NFL Straya with myself and Gaz as well. Gaz is over in Japan at the moment, so yeah, no show at the moment, obviously. Chuck a rating review on your Apple podcast, your Spotifys, your YouTubes, whatever app you use on your Android phone. It really does help out. Please go do it for all of them, or I may have to fight you. All right, NBAstraya.com/shop. Get your merch, You can get one of these awesome T-shirts. They are extremely comfy. I should give one to Gerald, shouldn't I? He does a lot of work as our producer. $20, mate rates. We're done. All right, good, sweet. Big thanks go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. So to the House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinator, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, iOS, Section Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes that you hear throughout the show. Smash them on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Face, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Straya supports Australian bands, so should you. And that's it. No skit today because we're in the studio. It's always a bit weird when I just go off fucking kilter and just start improving a deli review. I mean, when Deli comes in to do his reviews. Oh, there's a peek behind the curtain just then. Either way, so it'll be fun as when we actually get to do it, probably on Friday. All right, we'll catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And later, Jose, now.